Hello everyone. In today's video, you are going to learn the top 5 traps to win your opponent's queen. The first trap is going to be in the Alban counter gambit. It starts with d4, d5, c4, and e5. And after white takes your pawn, you will not take his pawn. Instead, you will advance your pawn to d5. Now white offers a trade on e3, but you will not take because it will lead to a queen trade. Instead, you will check the white king by playing bishop to b5. Now white will block with the bishop, thinking that you will trade and that the game will be equal. But instead you will play pawn takes d3, and if white takes back with the pawn, it will be an equal game. But if he tries to be greedy and takes you bishop, you will play pawn takes f2. White can't take the pawn because you will win the queen. Now you will take the knight and promote to a knight to check the white king. If he takes your knight with the rook, you will play bishop to g5, winning the queen. And if moves the king to protect the queen, you will play queen to h5. And after white blocks with the pawn, you play queen to e4, forking the king and the rook. The second queen trap is going to be in the England gambit. White plays d4, and you will respond with e5, the England gambit. And when white takes your pawn, you will play bishop to c5, attacking the weak f2 pawn. And the most natural move for white in this position is knight to f3, defending the pawn and controlling the center. Now you will offer him another pawn on d6. And now you need to play knight to e7 as fast as possible, so white will think that it was a blunder. Then you will play bishop to f2, forcing the king to take the bishop, because it doesn't have any other squares to go to. And then you just take the queen. The third trap is going to be in the Budapest Gambit. It starts with d4, knight to f6, c4, and then e5. And after white takes, attacking your knight, you will play knight to e4. And the most natural move for white in this position is a3. Preventing black from playing bishop to b5, checking the king. Now you will offer him a pawn trade on d6, and you will take back with the bishop. Now if he plays a normal developing move like knight to f3, controlling the center, he is already lost, because you will take on f2, forking the rook and the queen, so he must take with the king. If he doesn't take and moves the queen, you will just take the rook for free. And then play bishop to g6, checking the king. And the king have to take because it can't go back and protect the queen. And you just capture the queen. The fourth trap is going to be against the king's gambit. It starts after e4, e5, and f4, the king's gambit. Now you will offer him a pawn trade on d5. But when he takes, you will not take back. Instead, you will offer him another pawn on c6. If he doesn't take your pawn, you will just capture his pawn. So after he takes on c6, you will take back with the knight. Now he can't take your pawn, because you will play queen to h4 check. And after he blocks with the pawn, you will play queen to e4, forking the king and the rook. So after he plays knight to f3, blocking the check on h4, you will play e5, attacking his knight. After he plays knight to e5, putting the knight in the center, you will play bishop to c5, attacking the f2 pawn. Then he will play bishop to g5, pinning the knight and putting pressure on it. White now is expecting something like knight to e7, supporting the knight on c6. But you will set up the sneaky trap by playing knight to f6. White will think that you blundered, and he will take your knight, and then fork the king and the rook with the bishop. And after he takes the rook in the corner, you will play bishop to c4, attacking his trapped queen. The fifth and the last trap is in the Ferguson Gambit. It starts after d4, knight to f6, c4, and e5. White will take and attack your knight. Then you will play knight to e4. Now white will play a3, preventing the check on b5. Now you will play b6, inventing white to play queen to d5, forking the rook and the knight. Now you will play bishop to b7, giving it up for free. And after white takes, you will play knight to c6, locking the queen in. Now white will try to escape by playing queen to a6. And you will play knight to c4, attacking the queen. And the only safe square for the queen is b5. And then you will play a6. And the queen is trapped.